Hi everyone, my name is Andrea and I was doing the modeling activity. My first impression of it so far is that I would not be doing this at this time if I had the option. I think that my biggest challenge with this project has been keeping my toddler away from it. It is very space consuming, so I actually kind of cleaned up, but it is taking up like my desk, and just there's a lot of tools involved, especially a lot of sharp tools involved that my toddler wants to get into. So he wants to help me with the painting, he wants to help me with the cutting, and if I had the option I would shelf this whole project until he's bigger and can actually help me, or until he just understands that he can't just come and disturb me. But some of the things that I do really like about this project is how challenging it is actually. I did do a lot of research about it because I thought it was going to be a lot easier, and then when it came down to actually starting, I did not know how to approach it. So I did go onto Reddit and I saw that a lot of the models were like airplanes or submarines or tanks, a lot of wartime machines. So I did not like any of those, and the kits were really expensive to build something like that, and they also required metal work, which I did not want to get into. So I then discovered architectural modeling, and that's what I'm trying to do right now. It's trying to build like my dream home, and I really enjoy it actually. It's mainly with wood, and I did think about a lot of ideas, but I don't think I'm gonna have the time to just get it accomplished in the time frame that we have for this class. But I am thinking of just keeping it, just building the base model and then just keeping it and then just adding on as I go along, because I did have an idea of keeping the roof of the house on hinges so that I could add furniture and I could decorate it, kind of like a Barbie house, which I really enjoy. Actually, never had a Barbie house growing up, so I think this is for some part of my childhood. I will talk about the challenges that I encountered with this project, actually doing the project, but I think I'm just going to do that in a voiceover while I show how I was working on it. But yeah, so far I really do like how challenging it is, how it goes, like a lot of research goes into having an idea and then trying to execute it to actually like doing it with your hands. So that part I really enjoyed a lot more than I thought I would. But yeah, some of the negative parts have been just how time consuming it is, how space consuming it is, and also just how I can't seem to keep my toddler away from it because it is a lot of fun. It is kind of like playing. So I get it from his part, but I also am using a lot of sharp tools that I do not want him to like cut himself or anything like that. So it's a hazardous and it just makes me panic. So yeah, those are my first impressions so far. So the most difficult part about this project was just figuring out where to have everything situated. And what I mean by most difficult, I mean just project-wise, not just situation-wise. And then there was just a lot of sanding. I have been sanding a lot for this project. I did have to use a power tool to cut my wood because cutting it with an X-Acto knife just wasn't working. So it did make a lot of rough edges, especially since I didn't have like a sturdy surface to make the cuts. So I have been using sandpaper nonstop. I've been using 2 kinds of sandpaper to make sure it's really smooth. And then the funnest part has been painting. I remember why I love painting so much, so this was really relaxing actually to just sit there and paint. But I did decide to keep this part of the video in. You're gonna see that my toddler comes up and just tries to paint with me, which he ended up doing. So I just wanted to make it a little more realistic about what goes on with my whole project behind the scenes. But yeah.